Hello guys, welcome back to the video on the Stratus Forecast Weather Channel. Today's video, we're going to be going over the potential for another huge snowstorm in parts of the southeast, and obviously that's a rare situation, so it's going to be rare, and fall behind another Arctic blast. And then there's also other chances to see other winter storms across the country. But before we get into the video, we're also going to be going over the future radar, alerts and stuff like that. But yeah, so right now we're just dealing with some snow showers or steady snow working through parts of the central plains. This includes areas of the Kansas area as well as Missouri, Illinois, and all the way back to parts of Denver, Colorado. This is all associated with our next winter system. There's already winter storm warnings that have been issued by the National Weather Service across rare areas. With this being said, this is the radar loop over the last couple of hours. Again, the storm's starting to gather its gears together. I believe this is a little bit early than initially forecasted. But again, the system that went through the Northeast the other day that brought significant snow and ice accumulation to some areas, mostly in the form of sleet. That system is just over here kind of swirling around. It'll bring some more scattered snow showers to parts of Maine. Lake effect snow machine has turned on across the Great Lakes region with, probably several more inches to come from these lake effect snow bands. But yeah, we also got another system that, over here. I haven't been doing forecasts lately, so that's probably why I have no idea where the storm is coming from. But yeah, rain in Seattle and that snow basically everywhere else. The only areas that are experiencing dry conditions right now are across the southeast mid-Atlantic and parts of the southwest, specifically in areas across Mexico, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, back to portions of the southeast. But yeah, let's get into the watches, warnings, and advisories. Alright, so here's the watches, warnings, and advisories. So we have high wind warnings and wind advisories that are in effect for parts of Maine and the Northeast and New England. This is because of the strong cold front pushing through off to the north and east of Maine that is continuing to bring strong northwesterly winds, kind of west-northwesterly winds. We still have a winter weather advisory in a part of northern Maine for extended snow accumulation and winds gusting, I think between like 35 and 45 miles per hour. Winter storm warnings are in effect for parts of the central plains that extend throughout the areas. Well, really, this is not, I don't think this is associated with the winter storm, but this extends all the way from the, basically the Great Lakes region, not the Great Lakes region, but the upper plains, a little bit farther south, near areas of South and North Dakota. And then we have winter storm warnings again in very rare areas. Northern Arkansas, northern Oklahoma, northern Tennessee, and pretty much the entire state of Kentucky, southern Illinois, and southern, what is that? I almost want to say Ohio. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's Ohio. Southern Missouri, central and north central. Central and central and southeastern parts of Kansas, and winter weather advisories expand from about the areas across the central plains all the way back to parts of the mid-Atlantic, where we have winter storm watches that are in effect for parts of northern Virginia and central and north central Virginia. Sorry, North Carolina. I keep getting these ones messed up, but there's also winter storm watches up for Virginia as well on the mid-Atlantic coastline. And the winter weather advisories extend as far south as southern Arkansas, northern Mississippi. I would not be shocked if this winter storm watch gets extended to portions of Georgia and Alabama, just due to the fact that we could be seeing some light accumulation on these. I would say a whole lot, but maybe between 1 and 3 inches, if that. And these winter weather advisories extend into Texas. So the snow train, or the amount of snowstorms, just keeps on going, and this one will make another run for the history books probably. So as we continue on, this is through Tuesday, this winter storm will really start to gather its gears into Wednesday. And with this being said, we'll start seeing snow across areas in Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, all the way back to portions of Kentucky and Illinois. And then there will be there's probably going to be a little bit of a wider mixed bag of precipitation, just due to the fact that we're dealing with temperatures extend. And just because the temperature is fluctuating, rain will be expected in portions of Texas. As this continues to move up to the east, I wouldn't see a severe weather threat happening here, but I believe the storm prediction has set a marginal risk of severe weather for parts of the southern Alabama, southern Mississippi, and parts of southern Louisiana. And then we could see this mixing snow and go all the way down into southern or central parts of Mississippi. I don't think it's going to get that far down south into portions of Alabama and Georgia. But again, I still wouldn't rule out the idea of at least a winter weather advisory here. I think with this sort of situation, you kind of don't know what exactly is going to happen because I think I would wait until the last minute. But again, it's going to bring snow to very unusual areas, as I mentioned before. And then I don't think we're going to be talking about a bomb cyclone again. AccuWeather's been talking about it for a major winter storm. I don't see it happening anymore since the trends have pushed this winter storm all the way so far down south than originally forecasted. Remember, this winter storm was projected to include areas all the way up and down the East Coast. Again, that's going to be half the coast, but I can still see some snow showers due to a negatively tilted trough because of this winter storm, and you'll see that in a minute. Probably some snow showers on the back end of it. So with that being said, it doesn't really, I don't think it doesn't become a bomb cyclone, I don't think, until it's way out in the sea, but it takes like 3 days to get that week of a low pressure system. But then cold air behind it just wraps around, and we're talking about a pretty deep trough with some pretty decent cold air. Strong high pressure up here to a 1045 millibars. That's pretty insane. And yeah, that's really how that goes. I want to take a look at the European model. Here's the European model again. Very similar. I think the European model is a little bit farther north with this storm, and it has a little bit less precipitation with it as well, and a kind of weaker system. And it pushes that severe weather all the way down to the extreme Gulf Coast. But again, mixed precipitation, snow and sleet probably can be expected from about where it would stand from about Oklahoma all the way down to North and South Carolina. And then it kind of wants to go up into the northeast, but it gets pushed out by a strong trough, which allows it basically not to go all the way up the eastern seaboard. However, negatively tilted trough could result in some more snow showers. And probably even some ocean effect snow, which would be pretty crazy. So here's the snowfall accumulation. This is a European model, and then we'll go over the GFS model as well. But again, snow to unusual areas. We could be talking about as much as an inch, a coating to an inch for parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and potentially even Georgia. So that's pretty crazy stuff. As much as, at least 3 to 6 inches can be expected between, I'd say, southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, southern and central parts of Arkansas, southern Missouri, and that goes all the way back to portions of the mid-Atlantic, where a lot more snow can be expected since it's kind of just going to be strengthening off the coast. So a good area, right in far northeastern parts of North Carolina, you can probably expect anywhere from 10 to 15 inches. I think that's a bit much for the scenario that we're dealing with. But here's the latest from the GFS model again. A decent 3 to 6 inches can be expected. I think it's a little higher here. But again, remember, the European model does tend to overestimate precipitation, or more of it anyways, and the GFS model is kind of hinting at a little bit less. So I don't know what to say. So I think a solid 3 to 6 inches is your best bet in portions of these areas across southeastern parts of Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, northern Arkansas, and southern Missouri. And then it'll get a little bit more snow accumulation potentially right along the coastline of the mid-Atlantic in portions of Virginia, North Carolina, potentially as much as 13 inches of snow again. Again, both the GFS and the European model are agreeing with that, so I guess you have to take that with consideration. That snow line does want to get a little bit farther south of the GFS model, hinting at 1 to 3 inches for most areas. So it's definitely a rare winter storm. That's no doubt about it. And we've had like so many of these so far this season. And yeah, there's also going to be some freezing rain. So here's the general idea we could see for some freezing rain. It could be on the higher side of things in some areas, like as much as as high as 0.2 of an inch of ice. But again, I don't know what the European model thinks about this. I think it's a little high. Didn't it just say? I think 0.2 of an inch is a little high, and definitely high over in the Carolinas with as much as 0.4 of an inch of ice. That's a lot of ice. A lot of ice. We're gonna go over the temperatures. The temperatures behind this cold front could get a little colder. Right now, we're just dealing with really rare temperatures. Honestly, you don't see 32 degrees getting all the way down into southern Mississippi all that often, and temperatures, even this is below average temperatures all the way down into Florida. But once this cold front comes through, I think things could get way colder. Look at this. The nights get really cold. This is insane. 32 degrees temperatures all the way down to the Gulf Coast. If that happens, that would be unbelievable. Here's the GFS model with the temperatures again. It's going to get cold tonight. And then tomorrow, let's see what the GFS model. It doesn't want to go as brutal on it, so again, that's what that looks like. But again, 30 degrees temperatures all the way down to the Gulf Coast are definitely rare. And these temperatures across Florida look well below average. Alright, so that was the winter storm, so here we go. So now we're going to go through the next several weeks. So again, it looks quiet. So when you have a trough like this and you have a trough digging down, you're going to see a lot of these clipper systems like we have this winter. It'll just lead to, some scattered snow showers. That one kind of wants to fizzle out. Maybe another stronger system pulls away through parts of the upper plains and gets pushed all the way down to the south. Affects parts of the northeast of New England and potentially even the Great Lakes region and the Ohio Valley. And then it gets through here. It looks kind of like rain near the coastline again and snow inland for parts of the northeast of New England. And then another bigger system pulls through potentially to the first, which could lead to a stronger temperature gradient, pushing all the way down behind. And this looks like a very strong low pressure system. So in between these two areas of high pressure and low pressure, it signals when these isobars are so close to they are, this indicates windy conditions. This indicates some strong winds. And then it looks to be rain and mix again, a situation for the northeast, and then that pulls through. And then we get a little bit of a system that you would want to watch for. These are the kind of systems you want to watch for. The ones that can ride around a trough. Again, this is the first look. This could be potentially a severe weather threat, but again, this is so far out. This is like 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. And it goes through, it looks like it, and that one kind of wants to fizzle out. High pressure in control. And then potentially another very heavy rain, which looks to be heavy freezing rain. So, yeah, it could be an interesting few weeks as far as the Europe model goes, but nothing that, looks really significant. Here's the GFS model. Again, that winter storm pulls through. Obviously, it's a rare situation, so there goes that. Let's see what the GFS model wants to do. Again, it looks like a way weaker pattern in my opinion, but again, it wants to kind of show some sort of storm around the 24th and potentially clip by eastern parts of Maine with a little light snow. And that could bring some snow and rain to parts of the southeast as well, with more rain looking likely in the Florida region, with a rainy day on Monday, Sunday night to Monday type deal. Kind of wants to ride around that area of low pressure up there, and then another area of low pressure right behind that kind of fizzles out, but maybe some snow showers through the 26th. And then a stronger system wants to develop right around the 27th, it looks like, and it kind of wants to go right into New England and kind of be another one of those messy forecasts, mixture of snow and rain and all in between. Looks like a heavier rain towards the coastline and heavy snow inland, and then that moves through. And then another area of low pressure could develop right behind it, kind of, drag some snow showers into the northeast. But again, this next system from the 28th would be likely upper plains to the Midwest and Great Lakes region, all the way back to the Ohio Valley, northeastern New England area, potentially even the Mid-Atlantic, with a stronger line of showers and potentially thunderstorms. That moves through. Again, the secondary one moves through, and then yet another one. And then it looks, again, similar pattern. A high pressure ruling in, preventing really any significant storms from entering the U.S. just due to the amount of strong high pressures you have. Again, this is what we've seen all season, and I guess that's what's looking likely. So that's what you're looking at. And then this one, so both the European model and the GFS model want to hint at another major winter storm around the 5th or whatever date it was on the Europe model. They both want to hint at some sort of winter storm here. This is potentially in the mountains that I'm not seeing. I kind of recognize that at first, but then again, it kind of looks a little bit too far south to be mixing when there's cold air, but that does make sense if this is mountain. If it's not, then that's all rain. So once again, we do have some agreements of some sort of winter storm in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So next we're going to look at the temperatures. So obviously things are going to be just a roller coaster, honestly. So again, the one that spotted my eye was this upcoming Friday. This is the one that spotted my eye. Is this the upcoming Friday? Yeah, it is. This is the one that spotted my eye. This is going to be well below average temperatures, obviously. And then it kind of wants to sneak in and farther down south. But I saw this even down into central parts of the Florida region. So this has obviously come back a little bit farther north. But again, 28 degrees in northern Florida is extremely rare. We're going to see a few warm-ups, I think, with this kind of pattern that's setting up again. This is kind of the neutral La Nina phase that we would be talking about. Kind of a gesturing that kind of goes like this and kind of go like that. That's the kind of gesturing that we're seeing right now. And it looks like another warm-up wants to happen towards the first, the second, and then get another Arctic blast behind that. Here's the GFS model again. Yeah, the European model wants to really intensify things, but again, it's still significant to see cold air all the way down to the Gulf Coast, but let's see if it indicates that that warm-up as well. The GFS model is so much warmer right now with these temperatures, and then it kind of does want to hint at that warm-up with a little bit more significant warm air across the East Coast through the 28th, and then cold air right behind that, and then we get into that phase again where we just get cold. So we saw the snow, we saw the sleet, the snow and freezing rain accumulation. So the rain accumulation looks like it helps rain accumulation. Obviously, again, pretty much the same areas, except for western Texas, southeastern and southern New Mexico, southwestern Arizona, southern Nevada, and parts of California. Much of the same thing from the European model, tons of rainfall, and the unfortunate thing about this is areas that have seen the extreme flooding, those flash flood emergencies that were in effect for parts of the West Virginia area and Kentucky area, and potential, and I think even parts of Virginia. This is not going to help. You still get an inch on top of that, and I've seen some pretty horrific videos from there of just really damaging rain, and I would really think it was catastrophic rainfall. Lots of flooding, and this is not going to help with that situation at all. Much of the same areas could see as much as 1 to 2 inches of rain. If this plays out, this is through the next, I'd say easily 1 to 3 weeks. But heavy rainfall expected down into the southeast, or at least the deep south areas across portions of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia, and even Florida getting some rainfall. The one thing we've seen is not much rainfall in Florida, so this is definitely not a huge change of events, but this is definitely a change of events in a way that this Florida area could see more rainfall. Here's what we could see for snowfall accumulation as far as the GFS model go. We'll go to the European model next, but first the GFS model. Again, the most amount of snow is going to fall across the Pacific Northwest and the Upper Plains, where as much as, 55 to 65 inches of snow could fall, and it's even more once you head into the mountains of Canada. And then the other half is going to be across the interior Northeast in New England, where as much as 12 to 27 inches, potentially even close to 30 inches is possible. The snow line remains to be probably as far south as the Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, places like that, and Louisiana. Here's the European model. Again, it wants the significantly less snowfall. Much of the snow is going to fall across the Pacific Northwest, the Central Plains, and definitely the Southern Plains, and it's off the shoreline of the Northeast. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video, so hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, we'll continue to watch, I guess, this winter storm in the Central Plains right here around the Ohio Valley as well. This will be, I think this is a part of the system already. So again, we're going to see some snow forming in portions of the areas that you don't normally see snow, including areas of southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Carolinas, Virginia, Oklahoma, potentially even Texas if the line gets far enough south, the snow line gets far enough south. But all in all, another rare winter storm is possible, and it's looking likely, and potentially could even be expected, followed behind a cold Arctic blast behind that could, again, put those temperatures all the way down to the Gulf Coast, well below average temperatures, 30s if not lower. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, stay safe out there, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.